This video is not a substitute for reading and understanding all the instruction manuals and warning labels supplied with the equipment, nor is it a substitute for reading and understanding the MSDS supplied by the material supplier.
Welcome to another edition of the Industrial Products Training Review. I'm Eric Rainica with Corporate Communications, and I'm here with Mike Mull, the Product Trainer for the Industrial Division. How you doing, Mike?
Good, Eric. How are you?
Real good.
Good.
So, Mike, what are we going to be doing here today?
All right. Today, what we've got set up, we've got some paint setting up here, and what we're going to be doing is setting up a Triton spray package.
Okay.
From nuts to bolts, basically. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you select the right product,
Okay.
how you mix up the paint to help determine the correct gun selection, and then how to set it up and actually spray.
Fabulous.
And maybe even a little bit of technique if there's room at the end here.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so what's first, Mike?
All right, so first let's talk a little bit about the paint that we're going to be spraying today. This is the actual Graco black paint that we use in manufacturing.
The stuff that you see on the carts and things like that?
That's it, yep,
Okay.
exactly right.
Great.
So what we want to do, first step is try and figure out what spray gun or what tip that we want to use.
Okay.
You can get Graco guns in different applications: general metal, wood, high wear, a couple other areas. So first of all, determine where are we looking at? What application are we looking into? Today we're going to be doing general metal. All right. So the next thing is we have to determine how do we select which tip we want. So we're going to start with doing a viscosity check.
Okay, what is that you just picked
So
up
this is actually a Zahn cup,
Zahn
and it's
cup, okay.
made by the Zahn manufacturing
Okay.
company. So it's used for determining the viscosity, and basically you fill the cup with material. There's a hole in the bottom. The material runs out.
Right.
You time it. And then you go back to your chart, and that chart versus time versus the style of cup will tell you the viscosity.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
So bottom line is you take this cup and you stick it down in the paint, and actually what you'd want to do first, get your little paint stir.
Okay.
And
Stir it
mix
up.
up the paint.
Yeah,
Make
okay.
sure all the solids that are in the paint are in suspension.
Okay.
Okay. Once that's done,
Okay.
you take your cup and you fill it up, and you just hold it up like this, and you start your stopwatch.
Okay.
And you time it. So you want to start timing it from the moment it starts draining out to the first drop you see at the bottom of the cup. As soon as you see that drop right there,
Okay.
you stop your stopwatch.
Okay.
All right.
So should we time this?
Sure, absolutely. Let's grab a stopwatch. I think there's one on the table over there.
Got one here.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to let you do this.
So I'm doing the...
Yep, you're going to do the stopwatch, and basically as soon as I lift this cup out of the fluid, I want you to go ahead and start the stopwatch.
Okay, where's start?
All right, start's going to be on that one right there.
Okay, go.
Ready?
Okay.
And go. Perfect.
Looks like it's about 12.75.
Okay, so you got a little over 12 seconds and a number 3 Zahn. You
Okay.
take that information back to your chart, and it would give you a viscosity reading. Now, if that
Okay.
number's too low, it might be off the chart, which means you'd have to go back to a number 2 Zahn and slow it down a little bit to get it on the curve.
Okay, so if it's on the chart, it's good. If it's off the charts, then we want to use a different.
Select a different cup. Exactly right.
Okay, number 2 has
Smaller hole.
a smaller hole in it.
Okay, so it would take
Okay.
more time.
All right.
Okay?
Why do I want to know what the viscosity is?
Excellent question. The reason we want to know what the viscosity is so we can select our tip. Our tip ranges are from light to light medium to medium, medium heavy, and heavy. And there's going to be a selection chart in the buyer's guide that says if your material is within a certain range, then you select these tips.
Okay.
All right. An example would be light would be somewhere between 5 and 15 centipoise. All right. And then
Okay.
there's a chart that just dictates from there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so here we got 12, almost 13 seconds on a number 3 Zahn. What would that be? In
I don't have the chart in front of me, but from previous knowledge, that's going to be maybe a 40 thousandths or 55 thousandths tip.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be if you look on the gun, and I've got an actual conventional gun right here. It's going to be stamped right on the side there. Number 1, there's going to be a part number. Okay, and if you rotate it, it's going to be a metric 1.4.
Okay.
And I think if you rotate it again, it's going to say 055. So 55 thousandths, 1.4 millimeter,
Okay.
or the part number. So that's how you can determine what tip you have.
Okay, so the step is, I got my time on my number, whatever's on.
Yep.
Go to my chart, convert that to viscosity. When I know the viscosity, I go to the buyer's guide,
Yep.
and that'll tell me what kind of tip I need.
What kind of tip, and then just the general knowledge of what application you're selling it into would determine then the air cap and a gun selection.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
All
Very
right.
good. So a couple other things we should talk about
All right.
is the need for HVLP, conventional, then the package that we have sitting over behind you, which is compliant.
Okay.
And what drives that decision process.
All right, so why don't we start with airspray?
Okay?
What is that?
So air spray is traditional air spray gun, right?
Uh-huh.
Where you're going to have a stream of material coming out of the end of the gun, and you're going to blast it with atomizing air to create the particle size.
Okay.
The actual fog or spray.
Okay, so it's basically using air to break up my paint into an atomized pattern.
Exactly.
It's the way it's been done for hundreds of years.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yes.
Long before us.
Long before us. Okay, so that's airspray.
Okay, good.
Okay, then which one are you going to do next?
Okay, so air spray, let's back up just a minute before we go away, has a transfer efficiency of 25 to 50%.
All right.
Or excuse me, 25 to 30%.
Okay,
Okay?
5 to 30.
25 to 30. Now, HVLP uses a high volume, low pressure of air to create the atomization. And
right.
what that does is that gives us a greater transfer efficiency, 30 to 35%.
Okay, so that means I'm going to save on material.
Yeah, you're going to save on material. More of your paint is going to go on the product.
Exactly, so that's less air pollutants.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yep. Now, one of the things you're going to have to do with HVLP, because you've got a lower volume of air,
Okay.
is you're going to have to slow down the delivery of the material.
Okay.
So, in a conventional gun, you may have a stream that comes out of the gun 8 to 10 inches.
All right.
All right. So, in an HVLP, you're going to have a stream coming out anywhere from 1 to 6. So you're leaving that fluid in front of that atomizing air just a little bit longer.
Okay, so it's a lower flow rate,
Lower flow rate. Okay.
but I get better transfer efficiency.
Exactly
So
right.
I get-
Yeah. And so the trade-off there is a lot of people think that they need to slow their production down to get to HVLP. The fact of the matter is you are slowing your hand movement down, but your transfer efficiencies are up, so you're covering more material in less time.
Great.
Okay?
All right. So we got airspray, HVLP, and
And then over here, we're going to have the compliant. Yep.
Okay.
Now the compliant, right? What that does is that gives you HVLP transfer efficiencies, but it's going to give you the spray quality of conventional spray.
okay. So the best of all worlds.
Best of all worlds.
Beautiful.
The catch there, though, is compliant is not. You cannot sell a compliant gun into an HVLP needed application.
Okay, so if the EPA says you have to have HVLP, that's what you have to use.
HVLP. That's right.
Even though the transfer efficiency is the same.
That's
on
right.
it.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay,
Okay.
so if you're not restricted by the EPA to use HVLP, and you still want to save material
Yes.
and have the best spray finish quality, compliant is the way
Compliant
to go.
gun.
Great.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay.
All right, very good. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to clear some of this stuff out of the way here.
All right.
We'll actually move the package into the area here, and we'll
Okay.
start setting it up.
Okay.